My name is Kevin Tanner and I'm the Director of Melbourne Zoo. We have 25 hectares of land and most of that is grassed area for picnics that people come to. We have parents' facilities for young children. We have disabled facilities available for many of our visitors. We have food and beverage outlets. And one of the best things that we have that we've introduced in the last 12 months or so is an iPhone application or iPhone app, so people can find out more about the zoo when they're here, find their way around the zoo and actually answer us back about what their needs are. And one of the exciting things that we're doing here at Melbourne Zoo is that we have a customer service charter. And the customer service charter sets out exactly what we expect from our staff in relationship to our visitors. Because what we want is when visitors come to the zoo, that not only do they see some magnificent animals and contribute to conservation, but they have the best time that they could ever have at any tourist venue. We've engaged with an accessibility action plan, and the accessibility action plan, we're monitoring that all the time to make sure we cater with people with any sort of disability, whether they're in a wheelchair or they're visually impaired. We work closely with each community group to make sure that the zoo is accessible to everyone. The last thing that we've engaged in is a reconciliation action plan. We've worked with the local Wurundjeri people to come up with plans so that we collectively can recognise the wonderful history that's on this site here with the Wurundjeri people. We had research done last year and we discovered that Melbourne Zoo alone contributes $312 million to the Victorian economy through tourism. We're also one of the biggest employees of staff for the tourism industry as well. So I have over 320 staff employed here at Melbourne Zoo. Melbourne Zoo has two areas that we really concentrate on with our environmental sustainability policy. One is the culture of the place and the other is the infrastructure. The infrastructure is easily. We've got some fantastic things happening around the zoo that model good environmental behaviour. For instance, we are the first zoo in the world, now I'll say that again, the first zoo in the world to be carbon neutral. And that's an enormous development for us. We've assessed every aspect of our operation, from our visitors coming here by cars to the heating of the elephant enclosure. And then we've offset it and we've looked at ways that we can manipulate that. So we're part of the community. So doing that, we have members that are part of the zoo, and I've said 150,000 members. We have 200 or 300 volunteers that come here and work from time to time. We've started a new program up called YATS, or Youth at the Zoo, where a lot of young students between the age of 15 and 18 are part of a corps that come to the zoo and teach others about conservation. But one of the best things we did was during our 150th anniversary, we had a program where we had 50 Marlies, and Marlies were our little baby elephant, and we had them as a sculpture. We invited the art community to paint the Marlies, and we had 50 artists from Deb Halpin to Graham Bass to David Higgins, quite accomplished artists. And then we sent them around the city, and it was one of the programs we used to break down the walls of the zoo. So we had the entire Melbourne community involved in following these Marlies around and learn more about the zoo and about conservation. So it was a great way for us to get into the community. The one bit of advice I would give would be to prepare early. Just take time to sit down with your staff and reflect on what you've done over the last 12 months